Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Sounds like it's on now. It's working now. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Ladies and would all of the candidates please take their seats? There's someone directing you. The candidates. We need all of the candidates to have a seat in their section that's reserved for them. We have a section reserved for the candidates. Okay. To sit here after I'm finished. Welcome. Welcome. Still testing. 1, 2, 3. Welcome. Welcome. Just 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for coming out this evening to be with us. We're still doing a little mic test, still a little technical issues, and I'm getting people pointing at their ears, so there seems to be some sort of issue going on with the microphone. So while they're working on that, just give us a few minutes. We still have 3 minutes before 6 o'clock. So.
Hey, I'm telling you, it's working.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Can you hear me in the back? Not very well.
Testing. Mic check. 1, 2.
Okay, here we go. I think we're ready now. I've just been told I'm 30 seconds over. Please excuse me for those 30 seconds. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to St. Helena Parish's 2023 Election Forum presented by Power 20 News. We're so happy that you're able to join us this evening. Those of you who are in the audience, as well as those of you who are watching us online, because we're all live streaming the event. We thank you for being a part of it, and we thank you for your interest in your candidates. And before we go any farther, we want to thank our sponsors, Lion King Ministries, AJ Restaurant, known as Cafe, Major Coleman, Power 2 N Team, and Flying Ghost. Now, we know that everyone that was running for office, we tried to make sure that they received an invitation. We sent letters to anyone who was somehow connected to St. Helena Parish and would need votes from this area, from St. Helena. So let's give a hand to all those candidates who showed up today. Let's give them a hand. Thank you all for coming. Now we're going to begin with statewide candidates. We have statewide and regional candidates for office here, and we're going to begin with the statewide candidates. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Let's do the invocation first. Mr. Reverend Womack.
Let us pray. O eternal and everlasting God, our creator, our sustainer, the very present help in the time of all our troubles. We call on your holy and righteous name because we are standing in the need of your divine intervention. We ask that you enter this forum right now. Would you rest on the hearts and spirits of everyone assembled in this place? We ask that you would bless the candidates, Lord God, that they might achieve their goals. We ask that you bless each and every one that will vote, Lord God. We bless everyone that will participate in this forum. Reign over this place. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Reverend Womack, for that wonderful prayer. Now, as Mr. Leonard brings the first of the candidates, which will be the statewide candidates, as he brings them up, we just want to say that we've set a format where we have afforded each one an opportunity to speak for 2 minutes. They have an opening statement they can make. Once they make their opening statement, then we will follow up with maybe 1 or 2 questions. So we're asking that the statewide candidates for governor please take the stage and introduce themselves. Thank you all. Thank you. Okay, in no particular order, we just start on this end.
Okay, is the mic on?
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Hunter Lundy. I'm from Lake Charles, Louisiana. I'm the father of 3 and the grandfather of 6. I was the 3rd of 4 children. My father worked at the Port of Lake Charles. My mother was a kindergarten teacher and a college professor. I come from a family of educators. I've practiced law for over 40 years. I've been a businessman, done a lot, traveled the world, seen a lot of issues around the world and around this state. So when you see my push card, you can see that I said that education, crime, and poverty are all linked. And I've been on 82 radio stations, so I'm sure most of you probably heard my commercials. So I believe that we can improve Louisiana with education. We can reduce recidivism, and of course we can attack poverty. I was in Helena Parish last night, one of the toughest parishes in the state. I'm aware of the challenges in this parish, and this is a wonderful facility, and I know alumni have helped do this, and it's, it's worth bragging on. This is incredible. But I know one thing, you don't have broadband here, and we have the money now to make sure that we have broadband statewide. As your next governor, I'll be totally transparent. You'll see every dollar that comes into the state, you'll see where it goes, and you'll see the timeline in which it goes. So we're going to improve our infrastructure. Today I was in a gubernatorial forum in Lake Charles, Louisiana, with the legislators forum is what they call it. I did a radio show, and I'm leaving here, and I'm thankful for getting to go first because I've got to go to the Sports Hall of Fame banquet at Southern. But so I've been on the campaign trail for 1.5 years. I went out early because I'm not an elected official. And so I've listened to people all over Louisiana. I've been in every parish. And so as your next governor, there'll be nobody that works as hard as me. I'm a Christian first, then I'm an independent. And so you can look at my message, you know, as a Christian, you understand why I believe the way I believe. I have a biblical worldview, and I'm a constitutionalist. And so I've, in many eyes, I've been a tremendous advocate as a lawyer over the years. I've advocated for hundreds, if not thousands of people, many after many storms, many from economically deprived neighborhoods. I have a real astute understanding of education because I come from a family of educators. I graduated from Millsaps College. I used to run up 55 all the time back in the 70s and see the signs that lead over here. And so I went to law school in Mississippi. I worked for a federal judge. I moved back to Lake Charles in the early 80s, and I worked for the old law firm of Sam Jones, who was the last governor from Southwest Louisiana. But then I started my own firm 36 years ago, and now I've given it to my law partners because I'm going from the courthouse to the Capitol. Thank you.
Thank you. We're just going to go down the line.
Okay. Can y'all hear me? All right. So I'm typically don't like politicians who read off of papers, but being in protocol with the request of the people that are putting on this candidate form, I want to make sure that I'm in protocol, and as my former boss said, do things in decency and order. So after this, you probably won't see me unless they request me to read off the screen again. So just a little bit about me. My name is Xavier Dentre Ellis. I am a 20-year resident of Louisiana, with the other 9 years being spent growing up in Natchez, Mississippi. It is my belief that it is time for the Louisiana electorate. Well, yeah, can y'all still hear me? So if it's okay, I can talk off. All right. It is my belief that it is time for the Louisiana electorate to elect a governor who can grow with the state rather than age with the state. I believe in human rights to the point that they clash with God. I believe that as a candidate, there is no one else on the ballot who can speak directly to all the pressing issues that are facing our state. I am the young son or the grandson that contemplates leaving the state for another state with better economic opportunities. I am the teacher who feels that they deserve a pay raise. I am the man that believes we were all created equal by God with the ability to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So, when I see my son and other kids who look like me, I feel it is only right for me to fight to be the first to diversify the history of our governors in this state. My objectives are, number one, to work closely with the municipalities like Greensboro to get the needs of the people brought forth under the umbrella of recreational infrastructure. Next, I want to work closely with the legislature, union reps, and our federal and state programs to get creative in making sure that our teachers can sustain themselves on the income regardless to their status in life. Finally, like myself, I want to give our brightest minds a reason to stay in this state by diversifying our economy and not just relying on who you know in terms of the good old boy system. Our systems are broken, so it would take a man of the people and a political outsider to chart our path forward in this state. It is my hope after tonight, many of you will consider Xavier Ellis on your ballot in the fall. God bless each of you who have gathered here tonight.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeffrey East. I'm 56 years old. I'm a father of 5, stepfather to 3, and grandfather to 11. I have a very large family. Graduated from high school in 1984 in Capitol, Louisiana. Joined the military 1 month later. Served from 84 to 92 as a squad leader in Desert Storm with the 1st Cavalry Division. I ended my time in service with the Army, started driving trucks for a while. Now I work in the oil field. Been working in the oil field for over 15 years. I also founded and direct a nonprofit that organizes searches for missing persons and I believe it's also a time for a true person of the people to take office. I'm average Joe, just like many of the residents in Louisiana, 70% to be fact. If you want somebody as a representative of you, they have to come from you. I believe the matters that need attention in this state, there's a number of them. Sorry, Louisiana is in last place in so many areas due to neglect of the people in office. We have to bring the off-field production levels back. I am off-field, so I'm well aware of the trials and tribulations of those working in the off-field. A lot of us have moved on to other states to find employment with the government Gulf shutdown. I believe we can bring the off-field production levels back, jobs-wise anyway, by drilling on land that we already have here in the state. My wife is a teacher, a kindergarten teacher. I am a big advocate for teachers. The pay raises that were promised to them way back when we voted the casinos in were never given. My plan is to give teachers state pay. The extra $300-400 a month, the same thing the police and firefighters get, and we're going to pay for it from the casino money. Last but not least, Louisiana has the highest poverty rate in the nation, 20%. That's 1 in 5. What's interesting is 4% are unemployed. So that means 16% get up, go to work, sweat, bleed, come home tired, and still can't pay their bills. Those are the working poor. Those are the ones I really want to help. I'm running as an independent candidate because I believe the party system are fighting each other more than they're doing their jobs.
2 minutes.
I'm also a Christian man with Christian values, and I believe a common man with common sense can run this state really well. Thank you.
First, I'd like to say good evening, the beautiful city of Greensburg, Parish of St. Helena. Testing. I am Dr. Oscar Omar Downsler Jr., and I have many of my families also is in the school system, immediate family. They are principal, administration at Southeastern, and myself 30 years in the public school system, still employed. My baby girl just recently graduated from LSU in nursing school. So with that, I'm very supportive in education. I'd like to just say that again, I am Dr. Oscar Omar Downsler Jr. I'm running for the governor of Louisiana. Help us make history by electing me as your first African-American governor since Reconstruction. Our goals are security in school, a safer Louisiana, reform our justice and education system, economic growth, improve health care, pay raises for law enforcement, firemen, teachers, and all other citizens, and making sure that our senior citizens and our veterans are not left behind. Seek grants for emergency situations, such as hurricane relief and our infrastructure. And if you want to see the quality of life improvement for you and your family and your business, then you need to vote number 4 on October the 14th for Dr. Oscar Omar Downsler Jr. A little bit of my background: graduate from Lawton School, criminology and private security, graduate from Slidell Regional Public Safety Academy, graduated from State Louisiana Public Officer Safety Training, graduated from Deputy Marshal Seminar, graduated Cornerstone Christian College, Associate of Art, Biblical Study, Criminal Justice, received doctorate in Ministry Theology, graduated of the National Academy Executive Protective Agent, graduated Louisiana State Police approved concealed handgun firearm instructor, graduated from Mississippi State Board approved concealed handgun firearm instructor, graduated from Homeland Security Emergency Response Team, basic training for disaster preparation CERT, Louisiana State Board Private Security Examiner, instructor for baton, firearm, shotgun, and I taught and I teach arresting power and civil liability. Graduate of Bail Enforcement Training Institute certified by the state of Louisiana. I also serve as a police officer, 7th Ward Deputy Marshal, Executive Protective Agent, a private investigator, over 30 years experience, and I have over 30 years with the public school system. Owner and manager of several small business. I have the wisdom, the knowledge, leadership, and the ability to make the state of Louisiana a safer and better place to live. We need your vote and support.
Thank you, candidates. Please, please, you have time for a question? Yes, yes. Okay. All right. Now, you all mentioned in some of your opening statements some of the issues that we're having here in the state. What I want each of you to do, if you would, please, is tell me what you think is the most pressing issue that Louisiana State has right now, and how would you go about solving that problem or that issue? The most pressing.
Crime. We know that when let me set this down. Can you hear me? So we know that when children can read by the time they're in the 4th grade, they're gonna do well in life. If they can't read, I call it a pathway to prison. So we've got to see that our prison system is that they get education, they get taught a trade, they get an associate's degree, they get a college degree. We know that reduces recidivism. And I know that when people go out into the public after they've been incarcerated, they don't want to go back if they can get a job and if they can have a place to live. That can all be transformed. We do it all through education, and we do it also with our children. We want money for 3-year-olds, for 4-year-olds. You heard me say my mother was a kindergarten teacher. My sister's a retired kindergarten teacher. My daughter teaches in college. So we know that if we reach children young, we can change the culture of the state. We can change the educational process. So that and the poverty issue and the crime issue are all matched up. And so I'm a guy that's a consensus builder. Yes, I think that I'm a good advocate. And because I'm an independent, I can work with anybody, and I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of the adversity that's going on in our legislature. If you watch this past year, at the end of the session, you've heard my radio commercial, the red fought the blue, then the red fought the red, and nobody knew it was in the budget. And so that kind of foolishness has to stop. And they always cut education, they always cut health care. So we can improve Louisiana. You know, I believe that we can do it. I can talk to anybody. I don't care if it's a D or if it's an R. If it's the right decision, people ask you, what is really your message in life? And my message in life is I love God, I love people, and I live it out. And when people know that you have grace for them, they listen to you. You're not judging them. And so, but you take action, you speak truth, and you stand on what you say you're going to do. And that's what it comes down to, priorities. So my priorities are going to be about 4 years from now, they'll say, well, the crime rate's been reduced. Because I reached out to the sheriffs, to the chiefs of police, to the mayors. We got together and we said, what are we going to do? I was in New Orleans East last Friday morning, and they got to let you in this restaurant because you can't walk in because a 14-year-old killed a 13-year-old the night before out there. So we can do that, and we can work together. We don't have to throw grenades and criticize and curse and carry on because we're different parties. I'll be the first elected independent governor of Louisiana with your help. I hope I've asked you most of your questions, but you can look at my push card. You know the weak area is crime. We can take it on. 4 years from now, we'll have a reduction of crime. 4 years from now, we won't be the #1 poverty state in the nation anymore.
Okay.
You know, 4 years from now, we'll have a better education. As a result of that, we'll have a better economy. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, can y'all hear me? All right, so for me, and what I feel like as y'all next governor is the most pressing issue is not rocket science. It's this corrupt political system. And let me just harp on that real quick to kind of tell y'all a little bit more about how I see this playing out and why Xavier Ellis has entered this governor race. Well, when you look at a place, can y'all hear me? When you look at a place like, let's say Opelousas, what you have is a system that has perpetuated itself down to the local level. When I came up with this ideal of recreational infrastructure, I took a place like Opelousas and I looked at it. When you have, say, a mayor, a councilman, a principal in the school system, and all of these people are part of the good old boy system, meaning that the mayor is friends with the principal is trying to take the old councilman's seat, the superintendent is the neighbor down the street. That's a good old boy system. And it doesn't make the system fair for the common man. As I look at this election and look at this process that I've been in, we've had probably about 7 or 8 candidates for us. I'm thankful that St. Helen, that y'all do things in decency and order, that y'all gave every candidate the right to be here tonight. But can I say that's the case with every candidate forum that has happened and transpired in this state? No. When we look at politics in this state, it's perpetuated everything from the school system, the woke agenda as people talk about, but really it's not even a strong point from the right side, as Hunter Looney and others have alluded to. When you look at the left in those issues, it's politics, education, and for the most part, it's running the young people out of this state, like myself. So when you talk about the next governor, what we need is somebody that's a man of the people, not a career politician, not somebody that's finna just line their pockets and not focus on the issues of the people. And
Okay,
sorry, but can I wrap up this a little? What I want to say is, and just closing, y'all, we don't need more chicken shacks on every corner and those type of investments. Bring the needs of the people, from the kids to the oldest of us, to the forefront. And that's what I plan to do as our next governor.
Thank you. Next.
I'd like to expound on a point that he made right there, that there are 16 candidates that qualify for governor. It's getting to where, regular people are starting to step up. They're starting to see the corruption. They're starting to see the neglect. And that is a major achievement for the state of Louisiana, to have that many people wanting to step up. The lesser known candidates are, like you said, are not being invited to the big show. And that's hurting the people of the state, because they can't hear all viewpoints and all ideas. I will agree with Mr. Lundy that crime is a big problem in Louisiana, but crime is a byproduct of poverty. If you don't have enough to eat, you may hold up a store. If you can't keep your AC on, you resort to other things to try to get money. That is the major problem in Louisiana, and it's interesting that I was looking at John Bel Edwards' debate from 8 years ago, and he was asked that same question. Our poverty rate was still 20%. We were 46th in the nation in average income, and he was asked that question during debate, and his answer was, "Oh, we're doing good. We're on the way up. We're doing better." And people in Louisiana are making more money than ever. Flash forward to today, 8 years later, we still have a 20% poverty rate. We are 47th now in the nation in average income. We're never going to fix this state if we neglect the people that live in it. And it's no wonder why there's a major exodus from this state to other states. If you have the same job in a different state, you can make more money, period. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, I enjoyed everything that the brothers have said so far. Education system is a must. That's a necessary. First of all, we also need a special look at also at our early learning schools. we need to prepare safety as number one. Law enforcement in all of our schools. And after we get the law enforcement thing established, we got to look at the very important, who is the best educators or who's with those kids? It's our teachers. That's number one. I got on my goal as teachers pay raise. It was a slap in the face, the little deal that the House just gave the teacher. I want to bring the teacher pay up in the state of Louisiana on the scope level of the surrounding state. Let me break it down what I mean. If, say, Florida, California is starting their teachers out with $67,000 a year, I want to bring the state of Louisiana teacher to that same level. I can do it with our plan. And with the justice system reform, I don't know if you all are aware, but it costs us, taxpayers, over $60,000 to in-house one inmate. What can we do with that for these inmates with minor crime, put them back on the road, work release with the family, take that money, put it into more jobs opportunity, pay raises for our teachers, and etc.
Time.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Let's thank all of our gubernatorial candidates. Thank you all so much for coming out.
That's the left too. That's the left too. That's the left too. Yes, sir. Thank you. Change it tonight.
Next, we have a candidate for the office of Lieutenant Governor. We're going to ask her to introduce herself and make her opening statement. Thank you. Let's give her a hand.
Thank you so much. My name is Tammy Hotard, and coming here this afternoon, making this drive was like coming home. I've been making this drive through St. Helena my entire life. Can you believe it? So I know one thing about St. Helena, when you go down that highway, you better go slow, because those cops are waiting. And we should take better care of them, because that's a major issue. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself and what I feel about what we need to do to fix these things. We do have issues. I'm aware of them, and I've been studying them in depth. And I have a very special plan for our state. I want you to know something. Don't give up on Louisiana. There's no one who's going to love you like a mama than the girl sitting right here. I want to tell you something. When I was a little girl, my grandfather gave me this. His name was Jake Manning, and he said, "This is a symbol of something. What is it a symbol of, little girl?" And I didn't know. I was like, this is not what I wanted to play with. And he said, "This is a symbol of progress." And then as we started talking, he told me, he said, "One day you will know exactly why I told you that." Okay, so put that aside. When you're building something, as I have for 25 years, I've been in construction and real estate, working and working and working and enjoying it. There's something they always tell you. When you build something, make sure that it is strong. What is it that they say? When you build something, what do you need to make sure that it's strong? the foundation. A+, check. I used to be a teacher. So what is so important about a foundation? Well, there's three things. The first thing is that the foundation of whatever you're building will support the weight of whatever goes on top of it. The second thing that the foundation does is it will withstand all of the weather and the hurricanes and the abuse of all the systems that come through it.
2 minutes.
And the third thing is it protects the people. And that's what I'm going to offer you as your next Lieutenant Governor. You're actually your first female Republican Lieutenant Governor. I'm going to offer you a strong foundation and progress. And thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you. Okay, we'll just ask you the same questions we asked the governor. What's your most pressing issue?
I'm so glad you asked me that, because this is one of the things I've been studying. It's one of the things that keeps me up, thinking and thinking and thinking, and networking, and asking all of my network, what can we do? What's the best plan? So we did a statewide survey, a poll as they call it, around the state. All the parishes were represented: Democrat, Independent, Republican, blacks, whites, female, male, everyone. And what we learned was that out of the 20 issues that we presented to them, the number one issue that you have is crime and corruption. Why is that so significant? Because it's the tentacles of cancer that's affecting our beautiful state. Louisiana is a great beauty. You can find beauty in everything in our state. But beauty cannot survive where filth covers it. It just can't. The crime that's going on has got to stop. Now, I'm not the guy who's in charge of the police, but you can make sure that crime is under my domain as well. And don't think because I'm a woman that I'm not going to be tough on it, because I do want to be safe. It's important to women to be able to go out and do things, as it is for men and for children. And the thing about crime is that the more crime we have, the less tourism we have. And that's a part of the Lieutenant Governor's job. Another thing people don't know is that the Lieutenant Governor's job is also in charge of bringing retirees and pre-retirees into our state. How many of you out there think that there's going to be retirees coming into our beautiful state with all this crime? It's just not going to happen. So when we get $6 million a year for our Lieutenant Governor's budget for retirees to come to our state, what the heck has he been doing with that money?
2 minutes, Ms. Hoto.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're asking if we have any more statewide candidates for office, and they're coming forward, I believe. Good evening. Statements. This is the office of State Senator, District 6 State Senator office. We're going to ask these two candidates, there are only two candidates in this race. There are only two candidates in this race for state senator. It doesn't matter.
I've been going first, or he's been going first the last few times, so I guess I'll go first this time. First of all, I really appreciate the opportunity to, speak to y'all in this forum. Thank you for everyone putting this together. I know it's a lot of work. My name is Barry Ivy, and I'm going to try to follow the format that they gave us. And so my name is Barry Ivy. I have been married to the love of my life for 25 years. My wife's here with me. We have 4 children, and 2 boys, 2 girls, ranging in age from 24 to 16 years old. I have 1 son-in-law and a 5-week-old grandson. So I'm a part of the pawpaw community, and I know everyone's thinking, raise your hand if you're thinking, he looks too young to be a pawpaw, right? I've been getting it my whole life. My wife and I, we started young, and we've just been blessed. God's grace has just been abundant in our life. I serve as a state representative for House District 65, which is central part of South Baton Rouge. And I've had that distinct honor and privilege to serve. I live in Central, grew up there, and been raising my family there, most of my life. And so they asked about my platform. What's your platform? What's your beliefs? Well, the fact is, I believe in the Word of God, and everything else is questionable. So that's how I approach life and everything that I do. My objectives are clear. It's to serve you. I'm a problem solver. I try to innovate and think outside of the box when dealing with policy issues that affect you. I've got a pretty strong track record of that. A few of the policy areas that I like to focus on are transparency and accountability in government, technology, cybersecurity, and I'm a real strong advocate for our technical community colleges and the work that they do to try to create opportunities for our kids and also for adults who want to try to pursue, greater things in their life. I want to speak real briefly on politics.
Okay. Is that a warning?
Is it 2
got
minutes?
my 2-minute notice, yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a quick 2 minutes.
You'll get to come back. We're going to ask you a question.
All right. Oh, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rick Edmonds. I'm honored to be here this afternoon. I'm excited to be here to be your state senator for District 6, and as well, my wife and bride that I can double up on Barry. Cindy and I grew up as teenage sweethearts, and our next goal in life is to be sworn in January, and in February we'll celebrate 50 years of marriage. So I love you, babe. We have 4 great sons, 4 great daughter-in-laws, 8 grandchildren. We are blessed. I get to live a great dream of what God has blessed me with. I've been in the House of Representatives, your servant, for 8 years. I serve on one of the most powerful committees in government, which is appropriations, and I've had the privilege to deal with budgets. What you know in state government's a lot about budgets and how we handle dollars. And one of the things I want you to hear from me tonight is as I started this campaign, I began to work with Senator Bodie White, who's termed out. We're running for his seat. And Senator White endorsed me in January, and he said, one of the first places you need to go is St. Helena. I made my way up to visit with your good sheriff, Sheriff Williams, and as I did, I wanted to make certain that we started right where we had to, which was to make certain that law enforcement is covered. If you want to know what policy must be, if we want to know what we're going to do to enhance people coming to this state, if we're going to build new businesses, try to have great infrastructure, all those things are great. And I'm for education dollars and all that, but people must feel safe. They cannot run from our state. We've got to support our law enforcement. I am right now putting together on day one a crime package bill that will begin to work with the new governor, and we're going to work with our law enforcement like never before. We just implemented a pay raise for them, as Representative Carter would remind you of, that we're glad to do, but we got to do better than that. We can't keep losing great law enforcement officers. So it's the first plank in my priority system. I'm a long-term pastor. And so I believe in grace and mercy, and I believe in trying to find the best in others and the best in each one of you. And I'm here to be your servant. I want you to hear that tonight. I'm here to serve you, to serve this great community, and I certainly would appreciate your vote on October 14th. Thanks for having me.
Okay. We're going to thank you all for coming out. We don't have time. Doesn't like we're going to have time.
No questions.
Thank you all for coming out.
Thank y'all. That was good.
Okay, we did have a statewide candidate come in just as we were bringing up the regional guy. So we're going to now bring to the stage the candidate for Secretary of State. Would you come to the stage, candidate, and we'll ask her to make her statement. And,
Greetings. I'm Gwen Collins Greenup, the people's candidate for Secretary of State. As an attorney, accountant, and small business owner, I have spent my entire career serving and protecting the rights of the people and businesses of Louisiana. Now I'm running for Secretary of State to strengthen our businesses, secure our elections, and protect every eligible Louisiana citizen's right to vote. Some of you may remember me because I ran for this office 5 years ago. And because of you, I was able to make it to the runoff. But 1 year later, I decided to run again because Louisiana still needed a Secretary of State. 5 years later, I sit here again. I am running for Secretary of State because our Secretary of State's office still has some issues. Now, over the 5 years, I have been going around through communities throughout our state, building relationships with many of you. I am from Clinton, and I was born and raised there. I now live in Baton Rouge. I'm an attorney with 10 law offices across the state of Louisiana. I have one office in each of the 9 regions. And some of you may be asking, what would make me run again? Well, I love Louisiana, and I want to see Louisiana win. And I believe that if we're going to win, we need to get voter participation up, and we need to secure our elections so people can believe again in voting, and not just vote to exercise, but vote to make the changes in our community that are needed. We have nearly 3 million registered voters with less than 15% participating in most elections. That leaves about 450,000 people making decisions for 4.6 million Louisianians. I'm running for Secretary of State, and I'm going to use my experience working with elections as well as my experience as an attorney, an accountant, and a small business owner to strengthen our businesses, shore up our election system, get new voting machines with a paper ballot that prints out so you can ensure that the vote you cast is the vote that's counted. And I'm also going to continue going around being a people-facing Secretary of State, and I'm asking for your vote on October 14th. Thank you.
Okay, we're now bringing to the stage candidates for State Representative, District 72. Another regional, yes. How long we have? 2 minutes for the statement, and then we have 2 minutes for this question.
Appreciate it. Good evening, everyone. My connection to this place isn't just political, it's personal. I'm not just a candidate. I'm a neighbor. This is home. The challenges you face and the dreams you dream resonate deeply with me because I lived it too. I walked our streets and I only had one goal in mind. To lead with purpose and to serve with heart. It's time for change and progress. We tired of our voices bouncing against the walls of inaction and complacency. Our district is vibrant, it's alive, and we need a representative who is present, who is listening, and who is responsive. I'm not here for political politics. I'm here to work for the people. Our children need better education. Our neighbors and friends need access to mental health services. Our hard-working community folks should earn wages that reflect their effort. I'm here because I love this community and I love this state. I'm here to make this a better place for everyone, to have a better quality of living. I'm not here just for a title. I'm here to serve and elevate our community. Together, we can leave out of the shadows of yesterday and blaze a trail for a brighter tomorrow. Change starts with all of us. We can't do it without your voice and your vote. Mark your calendars. Vote early or vote on time. But most importantly, vote. And while you're at it, call a friend. Make sure they're registered. My prayer is that not my will be done, but God's will be done for District 72, because he knows what's best for all of us. Thank you.
My name is Robbie Carter, and I'm pretty familiar with most of you here. I was born and raised in Greensburg, and I've lived in Greensburg my whole life. I've been a lawyer here for 40 years. My wife retired from the St. Helena Parish Hospital with 30 years of service. We've raised our family here in Greensburg. My grandma Carter one time told me, this is too great a state for anybody to go to bed hungry or not to have basic medical care. I have lived those principles my whole life. I believe in that, and I also believe that everyone deserves as much education as they need to be the best person they can be in this life. I was a co-author of the original TOPS. When I was first elected in 1996, St. Helena had not had a representative since the 1960s that actually lived in St. Helena. I came here, I graduated from here on this stage in 1978. In 2008, I came back to give the commencement address to the class of 2008. When I did, we all burned up. There was no air conditioning in this building. The next year, I got an appropriation for $40,000 to air condition this building so that we're in coolness tonight. When the trade school was in terrible shape, the vocational school, and they talked of merging it with other schools, I went to Baton Rouge, I got the money, and we now have one of the finest vocational schools in the state, right here in Greensburg. I love St. Helena. I have lived in St. Helena. I've raised my family in St. Helena, and I can tell you, I've never lived in Ponchatoula, and I don't claim to live from St. Helena when I'm not here. I live here. I will stay here. I'm a Democrat, and I need your vote.
Okay, you both spoke of pressing issues here in St. Helena Parish, and we want to ask you, as the familiarity that you have here with the parish, what is going to be, if you're elected, what is going to be the first issue that you tackle? You mentioned several problems, but what would be the first and most priority? What would be your priority here?
So basically, we all know we have, multiple issues. We have education, crime, poverty, and all that. My thing is to focus on education most importantly, because I think education is that foundation. My mom was a school teacher. My aunt was a school teacher. I have a lot of family that work in the school system. And one thing that I learned, that education is the key to success. So if we talk about jobs, we can have 1,000 jobs come up tomorrow. But if we don't have educated people to fill those jobs with the skill set, it's not going to do us any good. So education is the top focus. I'm going to just give you a statistic. 1 out of 9 students will drop out. That's about 6,000 a year. If you take just the class of 2006, during their lifetime, Louisiana is going to lose $6.5 billion in wages. Education matters, and that's my top priority.
Okay. Mr. Collins?
Hope my microphone works better. I believe in education too. My mother was also a teacher, and I have voted for every teacher pay raise during my 20 years in Baton Rouge. I voted for every support worker pay raise in my 20 years in Baton Rouge. I will continue to do so, but we have a more immediate problem in St. Helena that must be corrected and must be worked on by all of you. In the 1980s, I helped lead the fight to keep the largest hazardous waste incinerator in the country from coming to St. Helena, and we were successful. In just 6 or 7 years ago, the largest hazardous waste dump in the world was going to be built in St. Helena. I led the fight to stop that. I passed a bill to stop them from coming. When just a couple of years ago, there was talk of taking 1/6 of our parish and putting it in a dry reservoir, making our families move. Again, I led the fight, and that project is now dead, dead, dead. You need somebody who will lead the fight, and we have a tough one coming out. Big oil companies have selected St. Helena to be the dumping ground for carbon sequestration for the state of Louisiana. I will lead the fight to make sure that never happens. I will lead the fight to make sure that St. Helena's way of life is a good place for us to raise our family, to breathe good air, to drink good water, and not be inundated by the waste of the rest of the world in what is our beautiful environment. And I challenge every politician here to make the same pledge. Don't ruin what we have. Help me fight to keep carbon sequestration out of this parish.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Carter. Thank you, Mr. Matthews. Okay, we bring in the next candidates to the stage. And as we do, we're going to take a 2-minute break. We're going to try to get our microphones effective.
Testing, testing.
Testing. Testing.
Testing. 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Testing.
Testing.
So that's all.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to we have brought to the stage the candidates for Clerk of Court. Again, we have asked each candidate to make a statement no more than 2 minutes, and afterwards, we maybe have time for a question or two. So we'll begin with you, ma'am. Make your opening statement.
Hello, my name is Melva Amica Bridgewater. I am a long-life resident of the Helena Parish. I have one daughter. I've worked 25 years at the Helena Parish Hospital, 5 years at the Helena Parish Clerk of Court, and 4 years at the Helena Parish Sheriff's Office. Throughout my years in this parish, I have witnessed the challenges and the triumphs of our residents, and I am committed to serving and supporting each and every one of you. My platform centers around compassion and unwavering support to both our resident and elected officials. As Clerk of Court, my aim is to make stronger connections within our parish. I feel this is a must to utilize the challenges that are set before us. I would like to create a welcome environment where everyone feels heard and valued. And I am committed to working tirelessly to do this to ensure that our resident has access to the vital information and service to navigate the court system with ease and confidence. Looking towards the future, with my past experience working with the Clerk of Court system, I have a clear vision for St. Helena Parish and will make it my top priority to work with the elected officials to streamline processes, improve efficiency, and implement new technology that will modernize our court system. Together, we can build more strong connections in this parish with your support. I am confident that we can create positive change and make St. Helena Parish an even better place to live, work, and thrive. With all being said, I, Melva Amica Bridgewater, humbly ask you for your support as we embark on this journey towards a brighter future for us all. Thank you.
My name is Melissa Ficklin Clark. I'm actually a stay-at-home mother of 2, and my husband works in the refineries all over. He travels all over the place. I've worked in both the private and the public sectors. Most recently, I was a business owner. I'm a veteran of the U.S. in the Army. I was a participant in Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan. I have a bachelor's of history from Southeastern, and St. Helena has always been my home. My heart has been here, always. I ripped and ran every back road from one end of the parish to the other my whole life. I have a heart for these people, for the people here, and I just want to make everything modernized as much as possible, the clerk's office, because right now we're so far behind with the clerk's position. So, and let's see, I would just appreciate your support. Thank you.
Good evening. Wait, I turn it on? Okay. Good evening. My name is Tony Holland, and I'm a candidate for the St. Helena Parish Clerk of Court's office. I am the proud mother and grandmother of 3 children and 3 grandchildren. I have lived in St. Helena Parish most of my life and have known early on that my calling was to be a public servant. By saying that, I was raised by parents that taught me and my siblings that you help someone if you can, if you see them in need. As Clerk of Court, I would like to bring more alternatives to the office that will assist the public in finding records. I would like to implement a genealogy system where heirs can come into the office or through our webpage and find out more about their ancestors. By working for the Assessor's office, this has become a passion of mine
when families come in from out of town wanting to know all they can find out about their ancestors. Seeing the excitement on their faces when you find their loved one's history of how their lives started here in St. Helena Parish will fill your heart with pride. I would like to work with the Assessor's Office in finding a way to bring GIS mapping to our parish. Our parish is one of the few parishes in the state that does not have this program. It is very expensive, but I am willing to do the research and to try and find a way to see if there are grants that could help our parish in bringing this to life. Another goal of mine would be to keep up with the greatest and latest technology platforms to provide the best service our office can to abstractors, appraisers, realtors, surveyors when they are looking up land records. Last but not least, I want to bring unity to St. Helena Parish. I love this parish so much, and I see it on a daily basis, young people wanting to raise their families here and people moving here to retire. As a public official, I think it is my duty to make this parish one of the best parishes to live in, and I want to work side by side to move this parish forward as our neighboring parishes are doing. I truly believe if we work together as a team, we can accomplish this goal. Thank you so much, and I would appreciate your vote on October the 14th.
Test. Good evening. My name is Jeremy Williams. I've been married for 10 years to my beautiful wife, Bernicia, and to our union, 2 amazing daughters, Jordan and Harper. I obtained my Bachelor of Science from Southern University in 2011 and my master's degree in Leadership and Administration in 2015. You know, life is a continuous journey. I have spent time watching, praying, and pondering over the past 2 years on what the next phase of the journey God has me on will lead. On exactly 5 months to this day, I announced my candidacy for the office of Clerk of Court for St. Helena Parish. For the past 8 years, I have with deep commitment and dedication served the constituents of District 2 and many others across the parish. I have been outspoken, courageous, accountable, and transparent in my leadership. As your next Clerk of Court, I will provide leadership that you can trust. My vision is to modernize the office to ensure that every department has the up-to-date technology it needs to provide the best customer service experience. It is my goal to be accessible, accountable, and available. More importantly, I will carefully manage taxpayers' dollars to ensure the highest level of fiscal management. Lastly, when I stand before God at the end of my life, I will hope that I will have not one single talent left and could say, I use everything you gave me. Today, I ask for your prayers and support. Together, let us bring the Clerk of Court office into 2024 with a fresh, new visionary leader you can trust. Please vote Jeremy Williams as your next Clerk of Court for St. Helena Parish, number 63 on your ballot. Thank you, and God bless.
Okay, we want to thank you all for coming out and making your statement. I think we have time for a quick question for you all, this group. You all mentioned technology, most of you did, and getting some upgrades in that office. So do you see that as a top priority for that office? If not, what do you see as the top priority for that office as you, if you were to
I'd like to speak if I could. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, no, we're just going to go
Okay, I'm
down
sorry.
the line. Yes.
I do see that the technology is a top priority because it helps you to get your work and stuff done. And
Okay, we're good.
yes, I think that it is a top priority for the technology being up to date with the different programs and stuff that you need to keep up with the system and that everything goes smoothly so that, you know, we can be up to date with each clerk's office.
Okay. Did you say other clerk's office?
Yeah, as of the clerk's office as well.
Okay.
Yes, I believe that technology is going to be vital. It needs to be the top priority as far as the clerk's office is concerned, to be able to maintain the records like they should be, and to be able to, right now, we have a problem with being able to do, like attorneys to come in and do like abstracts and things like that. If you buy a piece of property in St. Helena Parish, you pay more for attorney fees, and if you can find a land surveyor to come do the surveys for you, because we are so far behind. And that's not fair for us, you know, that the office is what's causing us to have all these problems. So, yeah, it's a vital part.
Thank you. I work on a day-to-day basis with realtors, abstractors, appraisers, surveyors, and their number one thing that they would like is to be able to utilize our clerk's office. We do have a new system, but they told me that a lot of the times that it doesn't always give them all the information that they need, so they end up having to come anyway. There is a system, but it's very expensive, but I think if you get out there and you work and you try to find resources, grants to be written, that we might can implement a system called COT that a lot of the local clerk of courts use in other surrounding parishes. And it's a win-win situation because you're not losing money. If they're able to go in through our webpage, they still have to pay a fee just like they do if they walk into the office. So it's a win-win situation. I do believe that. Technology is just going to keep growing as we all know it. So I do believe that is a number one thing that needs to be focused on. Ms. Ciprian has done that in this past year, implementing a new program. But my understanding, some of it is not user-friendly from other people I've spoke with that do research on a daily basis. So thank you.
Okay, online accessibility to records through technology is my number one priority. On a typical day, people are either using their iPhone, their iPad, or their laptop. So I think they should be able to use the clerk office to access those records through those devices daily. So online technology is be my number one priority. Thank you.
All right, let's thank all of the candidates for the clerk's office, Clerk of Court. Thank you all very much. Exit to your right. To your right. Next, we are bringing to the stage candidates for office of Assessor, for Parish Assessor. Okay, once again, we're going to ask the candidates to make their opening statement. It should be 2 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Edward Scott Galman. I'm a long-term resident of the parish. I'm married to Gwen Muse Galman, who is here tonight. We have reared 3 children here in the parish. I'm the only candidate in the race that can say that I've went to St. Helena. My wife went to St. Helena. All 3 of my children went to St. Helena. All of them are graduates of St. Helena. My wife is a graduate of Southern University at Baton Rouge and with a master's from Southern University at New Orleans. I'm a graduate of Southern University at New Orleans. I have a son that's a graduate of Southern University at Baton Rouge. I have a daughter that is a graduate of Southern University of Baton Rouge with a master's from Southern University of Baton Rouge. My son, the only oddball, he went to Alcorn,
but he's a graduate of Alcorn University. So in other words, all three of my children were educated right here, been in this fight a long time for education and whatever, graduated them and got them all working. So I'm blessed. But one of the things that has always driven me, I've been in this fight at every level you could think of for the people of St. Helena. I started out at the Community Health Center. I served on that board for 16 years. I started at that fight because my mother was a patient over there and they had issues. I got in that fight. I can say today I went to Washington, D.C. and advocated for dollars. There is a community health center over there that you can put your hands on that I was a part of, going to Washington, D.C. and advocating for dollars for that center. I worked with the police jury. I was on that team that went to Washington, D.C. to get those dollars to do the courthouse. We got dollars to put elevator in that building and to do the courthouse. And
Time is gone.
I want to let you know that I'm a long-term fighter for St. Helena, and I'm in this fight for Assessor for St. Helena Parish.
Good afternoon, fellow residents of St. Helena Parish. Most of you may already know me or know me of being LaToya Nicole Hogan. I am a lifelong resident of St. Helena Parish and 2008 graduate of St. Helena Central High School. I graduated as a licensed practical nurse from Southwest Community College 6 years ago. First, I'd like to give my obedience to God, the other candidates, and to those of you who are here before me today. I'm a family-oriented person with two beautiful, amazing daughters, and just as I advocate for them every single day, I like to do that for you all as the tax assessor for St. Helena Parish. My dedication to helping others and my ability and willingness to communicate with people with different personalities make me a great candidate for this position. I won't promise to be perfect, because no one is. But I do promise to be ready and willing to learn and do everything I can to serve you to the best of my ability. My leadership and customer service experience will prove to be a great asset if I am blessed to fill this position. I act with honesty and integrity in everything I do. I'll be a tax assessor that goes above and beyond for this parish because it is my home and I care deeply about its future. I will ensure you that all assessed work is valid, meaning it will be relevant to what has been assessed and is at right level. My team and I will make sure you are thoroughly informed. I will be reliable and make sure my work is consistent over time. I thrive on shaping the future and giving it my all, making sure all rules and regulations are imposed by property tax laws. I move with purpose, drive, and I do things with care, not for attention, but because my heart is still there. Seems like our parish has been forgotten or lost in a maze. Regardless of the light being on me or not, I'm going to still make plays. My unique strengths and ambition to better the parish make me the best candidate for the role and gives you something to cherish. Time has passed, changed, and updated. Things have been constant for way too long. St. Helena, it's time to dance to a new beat, updated song. Paying property taxes provide major revenue to our parish as a whole. So why does St. Helena Parish look so empty and cold? My stance on critical illness, issues, growth, and visions is firm. Get out the way, other candidates, because it's my turn.
Okay, thank you. As you seek this office, what is the most pressing problem that the parish has that can be addressed by the assessor's office? What is the most pressing problem that this parish has that can be addressed by the assessor's office, that the assessor's office can take care of or can address or handle?
Okay. I feel like reassessing the property value because that will bring revenue into our parish. So more revenue, more things we can do within the parish.
Okay, thank you.
The most pressing thing at our assessor's office is to bring this thing online. We have a assessor's office that is antiquated. I'm a notary. You have to physically go in and search the books in order to produce documents. That becomes expensive. I have had countless citizens that had to have me go in and search books on their behalf. Let's move forward, move into the 21st century and put this thing online so that all citizens have equal access to this information. We need to bring that office up to date. If you walk in that office, just like you pass there and see it, the same way you see it like a time warp, something from the past, that's the same way it is inside. You have to go in and physically search every document. Let's bring St. Helena into the forefront. All of our surrounding parishes, you can, as a notary, you can work and do your documents from your iPhone, from your iPad, because it's online. Let's map St. Helena and bring it in the forefront, please.
Thank you. Thank you both. Let's thank the candidates for Assessor's Office. Thank you all. Exit to the left, right, please. Okay, I believe we have now reached the local office of police jurors. We're bringing to the stage now candidates for police jurors. We're going to ask them to state their name and tell us the district which they're running to represent. Please state your name and tell us which district you're running to represent. Thank you. Thank you. I believe you have to turn your mics on and then make your statement. 2 minutes, please.
Good evening. My name is Quanika Hamlin Muse. I am the proud wife of Brant Muse. I have 3 beautiful children and 3 beautiful grandchildren. It is an honor to address you today as a Democratic candidate for Police Jury District Number 2. As a long-life resident of this beautiful parish, having lived in the 2nd District for over 20 years, I stand before you as a passionate, dedicated individual committed to serving our community. I firmly believe that our community deserves a strong advocate, someone who actively listens, understands your concerns, and works tirelessly to address them. I pledge to be that advocate for you, to ensure that your voice is not only heard, but valued and amplified. As a police juror, I have a comprehensive plan to address various aspects of this community. My focus will be on key areas such as budgeting, finance, infrastructure development, land usage, zoning, economic development, recreation, and cultural, among others. We can create a foundation for growth and progress by tackling these issues head-on. Throughout my campaign, I will prioritize key issues that directly impact our community. I am committed to finding innovation solutions that foster growth while also ensuring that no one is left behind. Together, we can build a future we all can be proud of. However, I cannot achieve this vision alone. I humbly ask for your support, your encouragement, and mostly important, your active participation on this journey. Together, let's build a community that leaves no one behind, where opportunities are boundless and where collective potential has no bounds. Let us shape our tomorrow today. Join me in shaping the future of St. Helena Parish together, and we can create a community that thrives, a community that uplifts every single resident. So in closing, I'm asking you today to let your voice be heard. On October the 14th, vote number 75, Quanika Hamlin Muse. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Byron Hurst. Good job, Ms. Muse, and good evening, everyone. And I want to commend all my candidates that's running for police juror. I am a lifelong resident of St. Helena Parish, born and raised here. I'm married to Lakeisha Hurst, and we have 3 beautiful children. I am a public servant and have been a public servant all my life. Starting Little League in this parish in 2005. I served as a school board member for 7 years. My proven leadership as a public servant was a catalyst in the school system. I am a graduate of Southern University, Southeastern, where I got my master's and my doctorate. I worked for the State Department of Louisiana, where I managed over $20 million in federal funds, and in my current role, I manage over $28 million in federal funds. One thing I do know as you citizens. You want someone to hold citizens accountable for your tax dollars. As your elected official, I would do that. As your school board member, I held the superintendent accountable for the work that you elected me to do. Fiscal management is a priority. As I go to the police juror meetings, I notice that our tax dollars are not being utilized properly. If you elect me, I am going to hold everyone accountable. As I look at our parish, we are not growing at the rate that other parishes are growing. When I look at our infrastructure and I look at Tangipahoa Parish where they're growing, think about it. We don't have the proper housing that we need for our citizens. Passing through Tangipahoa Parish, you're looking at housing developments coming up. You look at Tangipahoa Parish, that's not happening. You look at our food stamp office, it's in Tangipahoa Parish, it's not here. You look at citizens who want to go apply for public housing, they have to go to Tangipahoa Parish.
Time is about.
Oh, I should have set my own time on this. But yes, I'm going to fight for those public services to come back to Tangipahoa Parish, and it's not about gravel and rocks. Thank you. Come back to St. Helena, yes.
Yeah. I think it's off. Testing. Thank you. I thank all the candidates here, and I think Mr. Hurst is still think he's working for Tangipahoa Parish, but that's okay. Good evening. I want to first thank all the citizens of St. Helena Parish for their presence here, whether you're in person or by St. Helena Power News live streaming broadcast. And I want to thank our moderator, Ms. Viriginia Bell, and Power 20 News. My name is Dr. Fagan Davis, Jr. I've been a resident of St. Helena Parish for 21 years. I'm married to my lovely wife, Linda, and all three of my children graduated from schools in St. Helena Parish. And because of this event, in fact, my children are responsible for this great event here for the first time in St. Helena history. So that tells you what I've done in raising my children here in this parish and what they're able to accomplish and put us on the map. During such time, I raised all of them and they attended school here. My background is not only in education, but business, information, technology, finance, accounting, and organizational leadership and development. So my belief regarding policy procedures is for the parishes that we can run government more professionally, efficiently, and more economically sound. I further believe in cross-training and performance reviews for staff and employees so that citizens receive quality service from parish government. To accomplish this, I believe I'm the only candidate that has actually presented to the police bureau on several occasions a plan for business, organization development, finance, and accounting. No other candidate can say that. I've been presenting and preaching to this current police bureau board and passed on what we need to do. In fact, here is my presentation I presented to the police bureau on several occasions, explaining to them what they need to do to be better organized, have finance and accounting protocol that are productive to our citizens. So I ask for your vote. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Al Floyd Muse. I've been in this parish for 71 years. I've been married for over 50 years. I have 4 offspring. I've been working at the hospital in Greensboro for 30 years. So that tells you when I get ready to do a job, I stick with it until it's done. Okay. And now you might ask yourself, why are we not growing? I checked into this matter, and with others, I found out that we as jurors need to work together. Okay? Then together we can do great things for St. Helena. And I would not say what I'm going to do because I'm not in office. To see what I can do, so please give me a chance to do the best that I can do for this parish. If you are pleased with the condition that our parish are in, the question that you should ask yourself is he the right man for the job? So, So on October the 14th, vote for number 74, District 2 Police Jury. Thank you. I'm going to make it brief.
Okay, two questions. Two questions. First one, this is a yes or no. Would you agree to having the police jurors meetings posted online, just like the school board and others? We'll start on this end, please.
Yes, I do agree.
Yes.
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 Thank you. Now, you're all running for police juror in District 2. What sets you apart? Look, you have 4 people there. What sets you apart as a candidate for that position?
What sets me apart from every other candidate is I am totally for the people. I follow through on things that people ask me to do. If you have questions, concerns, I talk back and forth with the people. I don't just leave them stranded. I just want to make sure that I am serving the people, because this community here is been based off a good old boy system of who you know, and if you are not in a certain caliber, you know, you kind of get looked up, you kind of get looked down on, but it shouldn't even be about that. It should be about the community. It's not about an individual, it's about the community.
I think what sets me apart is when I served as a school board member, I gave my citizens a voice. Even when they asked me a question and I didn't give them the answer that they wanted to hear, I was straight up and honest. If they were wrong, I would educate them on why they were wrong and gave them a truthful answer. It wasn't about tell them what they want to hear because I want their vote. I gave them the truthful answer. And then once I educated them on the answer and they realized that I gave them an answer that was truthful, they trusted me. So being honest and open and giving them a listening ear, that's what sets me apart. So I'm not going to tell them what they want to hear. I'm going to give them the truth and the facts. And then once you be respectful and let people understand that you have a listening ear, then I think that's what sets me apart. So I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to give you the truth, no matter if it's going to cost me your vote or not.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hurst.
What sets me apart is I'm the only candidate in this race that has already presented to the police juror what they need to do. I put it in writing, and it covers organizational leadership, accounting, finance, business, and IT, all experience that I have and bring to the table. I can actually work on any issue that the police juror has, whether it be organization, finance, accounting, business, IT issues. I can address it because all of those areas is my background and my experience. And I am the only one who actually told them what they need to do to make this parish better, run better for the citizens. While everyone else was working on the school board or working whatever they were doing, I was in the police juror's office telling them what we need to do for over 10 years. And now I can get in and get it done immediately. I can get it done because I know what needs to be done. So I ask for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
What set me apart is I'm going to sit here and tell you the truth. I cannot get up there and tell you I can do this and that in the police jury office because I'm not in there. And like I said, I want to get in so I can make a difference. And with your vote, I can do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Meeks. All right, let's thank all of the candidates for District 2. Thank you very much. If you would exit to your right. All right, and now we're bringing up additional candidates from other districts in the parish. Okay, we want to thank you all for being patient with us, and we're working now on those microphones. I think they're getting better. And as they do that, let's give all our candidates a round of applause, because this is going to be the last group and then we'll be finished. Oh, I'm sorry. We got the sheriff. Yeah, the sheriff. Just a moment, please.
Hello, y'all. My name is Ronnie Burton. I've been a proud Assembly District Parish, number 5. Y'all might know it's about 5th Ward. I've been in the parish for over 30 years. I'm running for police jury because I believe in power in the community and need of power to be effective. As a long-time resident of District 5, I have witnessed the challenges trumpet that our community experienced. I have seen impact on recent events such as natural disasters, unjust killing, mental health, and quality and economic downturns. I understand the importance I have a strong advocate to the role of the police jury. My platform is to build 3 beliefs in community engagement. Firstly, responsibility and strategic planning. I firmly believe that the key to success is aligning and engaging our community members and empowering them to achieve this decision process. I will seek your inputs and listen to your concerns, and ensure your voice is heard to decisions that affect not only the district but also the loved ones. But beyond platform, I want to share my personal connect to the community, the loved ones, and make sure things get done in the time and the manner. I would love for y'all to vote for Ronnie Burton. That's really all I have to say. Thank y'all.
Good evening. I am Miranda Watson. I am a lifelong member of St. Helena Parish. I received my elementary and secondary education from this parish. And as an individual, I just simply wanted better for myself. I received my bachelor's degree from Grambling State University, and that wasn't enough. I wanted to do better. I received my diploma of paralegal studies and worked in law profession for several years until I became employed with the St. Helena Parish School District. And because of that, I am the mother of 3 kids who also received their education from St. Helena. I refuse to move my kids out of the parish because I believe in St. Helena Parish. And because of them, I still thirst for better. At age 40, I went back and returned to school and received my MBA from the University of Phoenix. But I still thirst for better for our parish. But it couldn't be about me. It had to be about everyone in this parish. I've been in education for 16 years. And because I wanted better, I sit on several boards in this parish. I sit on the Economic Development Board. I sit on the 4-H Foundation Board. I sit on the 4-H Advisory Board. And I also support the Dress You Up Mentor Program that was organized by a young man who also wanted better for this parish. Even now that my kids are pursuing their secondary opportunities, my thirst continues. I still want better. I want to enact a positive change that will provide our elderly with resources and that will support their needs. I also want our kids to have an inheritance that they can be proud of right here in this parish. We have to move St. Helena forward by making policies and decisions that will ensure a successful future for our kids and support our elderly. And we have to do it collectively. So on October 14th, I, Miranda Watson, I am asking for your vote to be your public servant as police juror for District 5. Thank you.
Okay, would the candidates please state, because we have a diverse group on stage now from different districts, would you please state after your name which district you're running in, please? Thank you.
Yes. My name is Kevin Washington. I'm running in District 3, St. Helena Parish Police Jury. I'm a long life resident of St. Helena Parish, been married to Linda Washington for 24 good years, and I believe that I am the best candidate to run in District 3 because of my leadership ability has been in the military and led troops throughout the world. I believe that I can bring that same leadership to St. Helena Parish. Now, what I've done, I've been out on the highways and the streets talking with my constituents, and I've been had hands-on out there looking at these roads and these streets, and it baffles me. It baffles me. I'm an alderman in Montpelier, Louisiana, alderman councilman, so I'm street commissioner and road commissioner there. So therefore, I have a knowledge of what happens with streets. And when my streets get up, the grass gets up, and I have a problem. I have a problem getting someone to come cut them. I put in a work order. I have to wait 3 weeks. Now the grass is growing high. Now my constituents, they are on me. So I have knowledge of what's going on there. I get out in my truck and I burn my own gas and I ride around, I talk to people. As I've been campaigning, I've been talking to people. So I know actually what's happening out there. So now if I'm elected police juror, I believe I can bring in new technology. I have a major in computer science and business management. And the first thing that I learned in Business 101 was to maximize profit and cut down on your overhead. So that's what I plan to do if I'm in here. I work across the board with the other jurymen to make sure that we can work together and come up with a common goal to get things done instead of arguing backwards and forth with each other. Now,
No, time.
okay, thank you. What I want to say, please vote for me, number 80, October 14, 2022.
Good evening. My name is Michael Martin. I'm running for District 3 Police Juror in St. Helena Parish. I think it's a change that you will need and a voice that you deserve. The reason I'm running for police jury is because I am familiar with this parish. I retired from St. Helena Parish Sheriff's Office with 35 years as Chief of Operations. After leaving there, I did go to the police jury office and I was the OEP director here in St. Helena Parish for 7 years. During those 7 years, I saw changes that was needed in our parish, in the police jury. The reason I'm running is because I think I have a voice that the people need. We need more transparency in the parish, knowing where your taxpayers' money is going, how they are spent, and to let the people in the parish have a voice. Come to the police jury meetings. Let us know what you are looking at, what you see, and what you want to see going forward. It's 2023. It's no sense for St. Helena Parish not to have the industry that we have next door. We see this industry going up. We need it here in St. Helena. We can't get it sitting around the table at the meetings every evening talking about what we should have done. We need to go to those parishes, get with those parishes, find out where this industry is. We need to have representation over at the governor's office as well as the legislature.
Time.
On October the 14th, I think we need a new vision and a vision that we deserve. Please go out and ask your constituents who is in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 1st Ward to vote for Michael Martin in the 3rd Ward. I would appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. I'm a well-known resident of St. Helena Parish. My name is Lillian Hogan, but everyone calls me Lily Pad. I have a 5-year-old handsome son and a beautiful 1-year-old daughter. I'm a business owner of a paint shop for adults and kids. I am 30 years old with faith of the mustard seed of getting the job done as your first woman police jury of 3rd Ward District. I will be coming out to each of your homes in 3rd Ward District to explain to you why our parish should have someone who loves the parish, inspirational, a long-term resident of the parish who doesn't mind giving back, someone who's likely to make the change, someone who's idealistic, most importantly, anxious about opportunities for the youth, But last but not least, someone who's never going to give up on St. Helena Parish. Again, vote number 77, Lillian Hogan, in October election as your 3rd Ward Police Jury. Let's make history. I'm all action.
Thank you very much. Let's thank the candidates from District 5 and 3. We're not going to have time for questions. In the interest of time, we're going to bring up the last group. Thank you all very much. Please exit to the right of the stage. Okay, as our candidates for St. Helena Parish Sheriff are coming to the stage, we're just going to remind you of 2 things. First of all, there are refreshments in the cafeteria. Do not leave. They're prepared already, so you could just really walk through and pick up your refreshments. The second thing is that your program has a QR code on it, and if you're not doing so, please scan and follow Power 20 News. We'll thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you very much, and we're going to get started with the candidates for sheriff by asking them to make their statements, state their name and make their statements.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Cedric Burst. I am a lifelong lifelong resident of St. Helena Parish. I'm currently the Chief of Police of Greensburg. I started out my career in Tangipahoa Parish as a deputy over there. I served 1 year over there under Sheriff Edwards. I served 7 years under Sheriff Williams. And I served under multiple chiefs at the Greensburg Police Department. I'm running for sheriff because I want to see change in this parish. Sheriff Williams has did a good job, but I want to build upon what Sheriff Williams has done. I have a 7-point plan to build upon to make St. Helena better. I want to reduce recidivism, stop repeat offenders. I want to become more transparent, get more deputies to cut down on call for services. You know, I hear all the time about people calling the sheriff's office and they say they didn't get through. I'm going to hire more dispatchers. I'm going to get this school resource officers. Just because we haven't had a shooting don't mean it's not going to happen. There's no reason St. Helena do not have school resource officers. We will become more engaged with the community. That's just a given. We're going to hire more deputies, and we're going to start a victims advocate program so nobody get left and fell through the cracks. I'll ask for your support October 14th in this election for sheriff.
Good evening, St. Helena. I come before you this afternoon as a lifelong resident of St. Helena Parish, committed to public service, ready to lead our community towards a safer and better community. I am Lieutenant Richard Womack. I'm married to another public servant, Tracy Womack, who works for the school system. I have 3 children and 3 grandchildren. I submit to you today my resume for the position of St. Helena Parish Sheriff. For over 2 decades, I've had the privilege of serving as a post-certified deputy sheriff, a school resource officer, a drug abuse resistance education officer, a street patrol officer, and a juvenile supervisor. During this time, my dedication to the community has only deepened. To me, it's not just a job. It's a passion that drives me every day to ensure the safety and well-being of the citizens of St. Helena Parish. My service extends beyond the badge. I have cherished moments of community involvement, initiating programs like the Junior Deputy Program, supporting all organizations involving the youth in the parish. By fostering trust and cooperation, we can create an environment where everyone feels safe and secure. Citizens, it is my heartfelt passion and love for our community that I step forward and ask for your support and your vote as Sheriff of St. Helena Parish. Together, let us embrace our visions, our shared vision of a united, compassionate, where every individual's potential is nurtured and heart is felt. Volunteering in the community.
Wrap.
I volunteered in the community as a 4-H leader, Cub Scout leader. My training entails drug court training, domestic violence, sexual assault training, Louisiana Post certification, school resource officer training, drug abuse resistance education training, Louisiana juvenile officer training, and active shooter training. It is my... That's it? Oh, okay. Okay. On October 14th, you will be electing a sheriff of St. Helena Parish. As the 2 minutes expire, please note my post to Facebook. On a weekly basis, I intend to cover a lot of stuff that I didn't get a chance to cover today. Thank you for your support and your vote.
Hello, my name is Clay Schutz. I'd like to thank everybody for coming, especially my wife and my daughter who are in the audience right now. I am running for sheriff of St. Helena Parish. I was born and raised in Dennis Mills in the very southwest corner of this parish. Spent the majority of my life there. I was a Louisiana State Trooper for 30 years. I spent a short time in Troop L, which covers St. Helena Parish, then transferred into Protective Services, which provides protection for our governors. I protected our last 6 governors, Buddy Romer, Edwin Edwards, Mike Foster, Kathleen Blanco, Bobby Jindal, and John Bell Edwards. And by the way, they all wrote letters endorsing me for sheriff of St. Helena Parish. I retired from Louisiana State Police approximately 3.5 years ago as a captain. When Sheriff Williams told me that he was not running for re-election, I talked to my wife, many others throughout the parish. I prayed on it, and I decided to run. If elected sheriff, I will use my experience, education, and contacts to make St. Helena the best possible place that I can. Some of the ways that I would plan to do that are, first and foremost, continue to ask my Lord and Savior to guide me in every step of the way to glorify Him and do what's best for all the people of St. Helena Parish. Secondly, build the best team possible. Have that team go out and earn the trust and respect of the community. Focus strongly on training. Build strong relationships with the people of this parish. That would include having an open door policy to communicate with all the people for their concerns and ideas for this parish. For our children, let's look at a Christmas Crusade type program, a junior deputy program, bring back the DARE program possibly. For our juveniles and young adults, let's make sure that they know that there is a path for our troubled youth to turn their life around and that officials are willing to work with them. I've already spoken to members of our clergy and members of our juvenile justice system to make sure that they would be involved in this endeavor. For our seniors and elderly, I'm committed to making their lives safer and better. Once again, I've already met with the Council on Aging, American Red Cross, which I happen to be a board member of, to make sure that they are on board on this endeavor also.
Time.
I'm committed to working with our school system to make it as safe as possible environment for our teachers and students. I've done this at University Lab School on the LSU campus. We put in a comprehensive security system there. I plan on using every contact I have, federal, state, and local, to tap into each and every resource available for St. Helena Parish. I have many influential people that are supporting me. They've all promised if I get in, they will continue to support St. Helena Parish in a positive direction. I'll make you one promise. I will use every tool in my arsenal to work with everyone to try to make St. Helena the best possible parish it can be. Please vote for Clay Schutz. Support Clay Schutz on October 14th. Thank you. Sorry for going over.
Good evening. I'm Gregory Tillery. I'm running for sheriff of St. Helena Parish. Like many of you, I was born and raised in St. Helena Parish, and I'm a product of the school system in St. Helena Parish. I'm married to Kendra Coleman Tillery. We've been married for 11 years, and we have 4 wonderful kids and 2 grandkids. I've had the pleasure to serve and protect my community for nearly 20 years. I started my career in law enforcement in 2005 as a jailer for the St. Helena Sheriff's Office here in Greensburg, working my way up through the ranks to detective. Working in these different roles has allowed me to see the office from different lenses and assess how we can improve and move forward. My platform includes elevating the sheriff's office to provide an even higher level of service, and that includes making our department stronger, developing community policing, and developing youth programs. As your sheriff, I will put into place a plan to decrease response times and to deter criminal activity by recruiting and retaining quality officers. Work to offer competitive wages, benefits, and ongoing training for our current and new employees. Working with my staff, we will identify the resources which are needed to provide an ongoing training and equipment to ensure a safe work environment. We all have a stake in our community as natives and residents to keep our community safe. As your sheriff, I will commit to meet periodically with you to hear your needs and concerns. Developing youth programs to educate, deter our youth from engaging in drugs and violence. Restarting the DARE program and work with school officials to place resource officers on school campuses. I will work with school officials, local agencies, and community organizations to ensure our children have constructive activities that lead them to success. As your sheriff, I will remain accountable, always strategically planning, and accessible. It's about forward movement. I look forward to listening to your feedback and concerns. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. All of the gubernatorial candidates, or most of them, mentioned crime as their primary issue. Do you see that really in St. Helena, as crime as being the primary issue here? Or is it that we need more patrols, or we need more people patrolling the streets and the highways and byways in the parish? Which is it? And whichever one it is, how are you going to address it immediately without the funding in that office? How do you plan to address that problem? If it's more patrols that we need, or if it's some way to combat crime, which is it really a big problem in St. Helena, as they were mentioned, as the gubernatorial candidates were mentioning?
The problem is that we got a lot of people that are getting hooked on fentanyl and other drugs. And the way to combat the problem is we got to become proactive, not reactive. We've been in a reactive state for so long. When I say a reactive state, I mean all you do is responding to something. We need to be patrolling and becoming more proactive to solve the problem. We need to set in place, put in place, drug rehabilitations and mental health services. We don't have that. We deal with that all the time in the town of Greensboro. We'll get somebody with mental health issues, they drop them off at the hospital, that's it.
All right.
We don't know what happens. 2 weeks later, they're back.
Thank you, Ms. Burroughs. We're going to have to make these short answers. We're running out of time. So if you can give me a response to that question in about 30 seconds, I appreciate it.
I think you hit on an important deputies. The hiring and retention of deputies is probably the most important issue that the sheriff's office is having to date. Knowing that by working there, and the funding for the deputies, and it's because of the funding that comes into the sheriff's office. The budget, I have not looked at the budget as of yet, but I intend to examine the budget and see what we can do about the hiring and retention of deputies.
All right, thank you, Ms. Moore.
Yes, crime was the number one problem. Well, there are many problems. Yes, I would say crime is a big one. Drugs, that's what the majority of our crimes come from, drugs. I was never a narcotics agent in state police, but I know quite a few of them. Let's build on what Sheriff Williams has done. I know some people that are making a pretty good drug bust around here now. Let's hammer that. Let's do everything we can to make St. Helena drug-free. If I tell you I'm going to get rid of drugs, get me out of here now because I'm lying to you. But let's make it not a good place to do that. Let's work on what he's done and let's build on that. Yes, patrols, many other things. Looking at possibly a new jail if we can get funding and resources to that. As I've told you, I know a lot of people in Baton Rouge. I know congressmen. I know many others. Let's tap into those resources. Let's ask them how come other parishes around can get it, but we can't. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, crime is a nationwide problem, but a lot of crimes from other parishes is spewing over into our parish, and we do need more deputies and more resources to combat this problem. And like Mr. Clay said, drugs are the main problem. If we can combat that, I think we can alleviate most of it. Thank you.
Okay, and you're saying drugs in St. Helena, that is one of the main problems? I know that in larger metropolitan areas, you have problems with drugs. So you're
Yes.
saying that one of the main problems in St. Helena is drug use?
Yes, absolutely.
Is that right? Okay. And you intend to combat that with training and with
More officers.
resource officers, additional officers
Yes.
and other additional programs?
That's correct.
Okay. Well, let me just ask a final question. This is it, that we're going to be wrapping up because we're about to run out of time. Now, honestly, as you look around at your candidates, why do you feel you're the best person to represent St. Helena as the senior law enforcement officer in this parish? Why do you feel that you're the best? And once again, we're going to ask you to try to get this done in 30 seconds.
Well, I'm serving as the chief of police right now. I know how to run a department. I have run a department. I have employees. My employees are back there in the back of this room. I have dealt with budgets. I know how budgets work. I can tell you the sheriff's office budget is $2 million. I can tell you our budget. The reason I feel that I am the best because I have already done these things, and I'm still doing these things currently. It's just, I have done everything to get to this point, educational-wise.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Bruce.
I think I'll be the best candidate because I have the experience. I've lived here all my life. I know the people. And I have the commitment of the people to support me in my endeavors. When you start to think about being the sheriff of St. Helena, it's not just a sheriff thing. It's not just a law enforcement thing. You have civil, you have criminal, you have people management, you have to have personal skills, you have to have people skills to manage that department, and I think that all that's included in running the sheriff's office.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. And Mr. Schultz?
I would say all of these people on the stage are fine people. I'm sure they have qualifications. I will put my qualifications against anybody running. I think that they are better. I have been over a section that has a budget probably as big as the sheriff's office budget now. I've worked with inmates, I've worked with troopers, I've worked with many others. One thing I would say that might set me apart, not because I'm better, not because I'm smart or any of that, I happen to have contacts throughout this state and throughout this nation that I have known for years and years and years. The top 4 governor candidates, I know them all personally. That doesn't mean we're going to get anything, but if we bring a plan to them and it's somebody who has worked with them for years and years and years, I think it might be better. I know senators, congressmen, all the sheriffs around this area. I think I have contacts that might be able to bring resources in this parish that we so dreadfully need. Thank you.
Thank you. Finally, Mr. Tillery.
Okay, I worked at the sheriff's office for nearly 20 years, and I worked in many different capacities. I've got several certifications under my belt. I know most of the people in this room. I know most of the people in the parish of St. Helena. I know every corner of St. Helena Parish. I know what areas that needs to be worked on, and I plan to put together a plan to try to handle all of these problems that we have been experiencing in St. Helena Parish. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I want to thank all of the candidates for participating in this event. Excuse me? Do we have time? Let me ask our technical crew. That's all we have. Quickly, one.
What we're gonna get these funds from? Would any one of y'all consider putting a tax on the parish in order to support this improvement that y'all trying to do? Are y'all concerned, or would y'all consider putting a tax on the people in here?
Thank you, Mr. Freeman.
Thank you.
No, I don't think there's a need.
None of y'all?
A millage. You get a grant writer in, you let that grant writer do their job. Add more burdens with taxes is not the way. We have enough businesses here. We don't have enough revenue already coming in here. I would not do that.
Thank you.
I don't think that I can answer that question right now because I'd have to look at the budget and find out what we could cut or what we could add to the budget or what we could do without before I would impose a tax, although a tax is not out of the question. But I can't answer that question at this point until I look at my budget and figure out what I can or cannot do.
Thank you, Ms. Mormont.
I would say certainly not in the near future. Again, I think we can get resources in this parish. I think there are grants that we have not gotten. I know plenty of good grant writers who get millions and millions of dollars that have told me personally, Clay, I will work with you if you get in there. I can bring things to your parish. So I would never say never, but at this point, I would try to go with other ways.
Thank you. Mr. Tiller.
Right now, I wouldn't say we need any taxes, but somewhere down the line, maybe, but right now, no. And we do have access to grant writers to come in and to help us get the resources we need. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you to all of the candidates for sheriff. Please exit to the right of the stage. And now we just want to thank every candidate who came out tonight and participated in this forum. We know that you didn't have to, but you came out and faced the voters, and we appreciate that. I want you all to remember that the primary is on October the 14th. That is the primary election. The general is in November. Please go out and cast your vote. Be a concerned citizen. Again, there are refreshments over in the cafeteria. There's someone out front to direct you if you're not sure how to get there. Thank you very much. Then don't forget, watch Power 20 News. If anyone missed the recording, if anyone missed this event, tell them